Good afternoon, everybody. It is Meteorologist It's Weather Forecast, and welcome back to another update, guys. So this is going to be a second upload of today. If you have not seen the first upload, go ahead and check that out and then come here. But guys, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be looking at update on the severe weather for parts of the Midwest, the Central Plains, parts of the Ohio Valley there, and for the Northeast. So you are starting to have these storms start to come in for the Northeast right now, and then we will be seeing some more into the Midwest as we go later into tonight. I do apologize for posting a bit later than expected. I was supposed to post like around 3:10, but my sister and my whole family had to go there for her driver's license, and she did get it, and then we went to Olive Garden, so I do apologize for posting an hour later than expected. But guys, if you guys want to know all the new updates, the timing of the storms, if you can expect storms in your areas, if you could expect a slight or enhanced risk or any of those risks, and also if you want to know the chances for tornadoes and all that for your area to keep your family safe and all that, then I'll come right up. Alright guys, so we're actually going to be looking at the National Weather Service right now. Again, we have a lot more colors now. You can just see a lot of, especially right here, we actually kind of really explained that, but now we're actually going to be looking at all of them. So, let me scroll down a little bit. Let me just go like this. Alright. So let me actually just show all of this. So we actually do see these storms. We can see evidence of these storms starting to form here. We do have some severe thunderstorm watches in effect for the Boston area, for the Philadelphia area, for the New York area, for the Providence area. So we do have that for the near the New England area. So that's where we can expect some storms there. And then we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for some areas out here in Massachusetts, near the Syracuse area there, just a couple miles south of the Syracuse area. So we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings there too, for part of the central part, the parts of Massachusetts. We also do have in the green some flash flood watches for the areas close to the Buffalo area. We do actually possibly have some flash flooding there, because we will be seeing quite a good amount of rain, possibly maybe 2 to 3 inches very fast. That could do some damage a little bit. And then again, we do have these excessive heat watches in effect for parts of the Ohio Valley. We do have it for Indianapolis, for parts of Louisville, and for Cleveland, not for Cleveland, for Columbus and Pittsburgh. I know it's really, really hard to look at, really, the counties and all that. That color does not really go well. And then we also have it for the Iowa area and South Dakota. Then we do have excessive heat warnings going to parts of all the way from Oklahoma through Missouri, through parts of Chicago, and for Des Moines and Lincoln, Nebraska. And we actually do have more now in effect for the northern part of Arkansas now, and also for the western part of Arkansas. So that's a sign of it increasing. And then in the orange color for parts of the Mid-Atlantic and the East Coast, and for the South Central, and for the Central Plains, we do have heat advisories. That's where we can see some overheating there. And then we also do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the Iowa and Missouri area too, because we will be seeing some strong storms there. And then we do have flash flood watches in effect for the northern Iowa area and for the Minneapolis area. So now that we took care of all those advisories, so now we're going to be looking at the threat of having let me go press this. All right, so now we're going to be looking at the categorical outlook. So I think we have a big area right here with the marginal right here, and then we do have another area with the marginal too. So we have the East Coast and for the Central Plains, or more Central and Northern Plains. So we actually do have let me move this here. We do have a population of 46 million people under a marginal. We do have Philadelphia, Baltimore, Milwaukee, Washington D.C., and Virginia Beach. And then some other names that were not mentioned were Dodge City. We also do have some other areas for the central part of Nebraska and for South Dakota. So that's really where we're seeing the marginal risk there. We actually do have a big area of the country though. And then we have a lot of areas that have a slight chance. We have 3 big blobs here for the Midwest, the Northern Plains, and also for the New England area. So we actually have a lot of areas. You usually don't see 3 big blobs of slight chances so very close to each other. I know they're not super duper close, but they're in some kind of range of kind of being close. And then we do have a general risk in between that. But in slight chance, we do have a population of 46 million people actually very, very close to the marginal population. The marginal is 46,600,000. This one's 46,623,000. So just a little bit more of a population. We do have New York, Boston, Minneapolis, Newark, and St. Paul, Minnesota. We also do have we actually do have also another city in St. Louis is actually in between both of these. Actually, St. Louis is like right on the border of those, and then we have some smaller towns out here for the Dakotas and Wyoming and Montana. So now that we looked at that, we're going to be looking at the tornado threat. We do actually have a better chance than yesterday. We do have a 5% chance for the areas of southern Iowa and for the western part of Illinois. So we do have actually a 0% chance for tornadoes out here for the northeast. We do have a 2% chance now for the Minneapolis area. Not too rare to see tornadoes out here into July. And then also for the the Duluth area, Minnesota, we actually have a 2% chance too. So now we're going to be looking at the wind threat. And the wind threat's actually really spread out. We do have a 15% chance for the northeast and or the New England area, for the Midwest, and for the northern plains. So we actually do have a population now for 46,400,000, so a bit smaller, but that's including New York City, Boston, Minneapolis, Newark, and St. Paul. This is basically main cities there, and we have Des Moines, and it looks like we have St. Louis on the border. And then we do have a 15% chance for Philadelphia, Baltimore, 5% chance, a 5% chance for severe winds for Baltimore, Milwaukee, Washington, D.C., and Virginia Beach. So now that we looked at that, we're going to be looking at the hail threat. The hail threat is a bit higher now for the more into the Midwest areas now. So this isn't like the worst of it can be into. Oops, that was really bad. Looks like the worst of it can be from Minnesota really, and for the northern plains, because we have the highest numbers always right there. We don't really have some high numbers here for the northeast, but we do have a 15% chance for a hail risk for Minneapolis, St. Paul, Fargo, Duluth, Minnesota, and for Bloomington, Minnesota. So there's some other areas there. So now we're going to be looking at tomorrow's threat. So we do have a smaller chance for a marginal. We do have the northern plains again and to the Midwest. We have a population of 24 million people for Chicago, Detroit, Milwaukee, St. Paul, Madison, Wisconsin. A lot of big cities there. And then we also have Fargo in there. And then we do have the slight chance. That's where we actually do expect to have the worst of the severe weather tomorrow. Right now, we do have Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, Eau Claire, and La Crosse, Wisconsin. I pronounced probably that second to last one wrong. So now I'm going to be looking at the radar. So I think that we have a lot of storms right now. So we have some strong storms right now for Iowa and for Missouri. They are very scattered. Nothing big deal yet. But that's actually why we do have severe thunderstorm warnings for these small bands here. But look at the Ohio Valley. Just tons of scattered storms there for Cleveland, for Pittsburgh. It's just, this spring has been really messy for the Ohio Valley. And then as we go more into tonight, later into tonight, we will be having some more storms out here for Iowa and for Missouri, and a lot more scattered storms out here for the Ohio Valley. And then we'll be seeing some storms out here for Wisconsin and for Minnesota. These storms will start to actually form really fast. So as you can tell, as we go into very late tonight into very early tomorrow, we'll be seeing some very strong storms from Minnesota, for the Minneapolis area, and also for the Duluth area. We'll be seeing very strong storms, and then we'll also be seeing some rain showers out there for the West Virginia area into Pittsburgh. So these storms will get even worse and worse, guys. It's going to be really bad out there. So I'm actually surprised we only have a slight chance for tomorrow. Just look at these storms. We will be seeing some very strong storms for the Duluth area and northern part of Wisconsin. Minneapolis will really get hit and heading towards the Madison area and actually heading towards Des Moines too. So it's going to be heading towards big cities. It will be it's going to only bring some light rain showers out there for the Des Moines area, but Green Bay and Milwaukee will really get hit, and it also affect Muskegon and also some other areas in Michigan. So that was that. So now we're going to be looking at the Northeast and the Ohio Valley. So we're going to be seeing very strong storms right now for the central part of New York, also for the Erie and Ohio area, and then for the Pittsburgh area. And then all these storms are going to be moving to the Northeast. So be heading towards the same direction, really. So that's why did not mean to do that. Alright, so let me actually go back here. Go here for a second. So we're going to go all the way to today. Sorry, guys. I apologize for moving it. Alright. Let's go all the way to right now. So we will be again seeing the very strong storms out here for the New York area, especially towards the New England area. That's where we actually have the biggest chance really for some wind threats. Going to be heading towards the areas of New York City right here, and then we have very, very powerful storms out there heading towards central part of Pennsylvania. I'm actually trying to move this right here. So where's the central part of Pennsylvania. It's going to be really bringing some very strong storms for Philadelphia, for New York City, and also for Boston there. And then we actually potentially have some flooding into the areas of the New England area, as we do have some storms there. And then we could have some very strong, very, very strong storms out here for Detroit, and also for Cleveland. We can have some very strong storms out there for the 19th. And then we'll have some good weather out there for the 20th. But again, we will always see some scattered storms with the overday heating. So that was the radar. So now the last thing we're going to be looking at is the Cape values. So as you can tell, we've been seeing these higher numbers out here near the Memphis area. We've had a lot of energy since Barry's passed here. So we have 4,600. And then some actually very low 5,000s for the southern part of Missouri. And then we will see these numbers stretch all the way into the Nebraska area. So now we're going to be starting to 11 p.m. today. So in a couple hours, by 11, we will be seeing actually some mid 4,000s and actually high 4,000s, and then some low 5,000s out there for the Lincoln area and for central Nebraska. And then we will be seeing again these higher numbers too for the areas out here into southern Missouri. Actually, some 5,000s there. But let's go all the way tomorrow. Tomorrow's looking like a very let's go with messy day with Cape Valley. It's going to bring very, very high numbers out here for parts of the Midwest. So if we go tomorrow at 2 o'clock, it'll bring in Sioux Falls 5,000. Trust me, guys, it's going to get a lot worse. Let's go at 8 p.m. Just look at this. It's bringing a lot worse. Fort Wayne's going to be at 3,300. Milwaukee, 3,800. And then for southern Minnesota, 5,200 there. And then we have a lot of high numbers just south of Omaha there. So we can bring some higher numbers. So St. Louis to the Evansville area of Indiana. It's just going to bring incredibly high numbers for a lot of areas. Then it does get a bit more into one area. It was widespread for a couple hours there, and then it gets back into its place to the Midwest. Just bringing some high numbers for Milwaukee, Madison, Des Moines there. And then let's go all the way to Friday at 2 p.m. But Friday at 2 p.m. does not get any better. It actually just spreads more to the east now, because the northeast will be getting very strong storms. But let's go zoom in a little bit near Chicago and Madison. Madison at 4,800. Chicago, 3,900. Detroit's going to be very high, actually 4,200. Fort Wayne, 4,300. And then Rochester, New York will be getting some action there. And then it will start to calm down a bit into the New York area, but it will be getting a lot worse into the Des Moines area, and also for the southern part of Minnesota, getting up to 4,900 there, and actually possibly some 5,000s, mid 5,000s, actually very close to that on the end of Friday. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to like this for I know you guys like more videos like these. And yeah, see you guys in the next video, and bye.